Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to our fifth playoff race and race 31 of the debut season of the PCSRA Winston Cup Series. Getting ready for our final road course race of the season here at the Lime Rock Park circuit here in Connecticut. We're going to be halfway through the playoffs, and this race is going to set us up for our elimination race next week at Kansas Speedway. Cody Smart is on the pole position. Comes in this race 6 points above the cut line and sixth in the standings. Alongside is Jessica Miller in the 9, who's been super consistent but hasn't been to victory lane yet, 23rd in the points. Maddie Crenshaw in row number 2, another driver who's still trying to find victory lane. She dropped 3 spots down to 33rd in the points. And Tatum Wright alongside in the 0. Tatum's still looking for her first win of the year. She is 20th in the point standings. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup for today's race here at Lime Rock Park, let's get these cars going. One of my favorite circuits that we love to come to in the NR community, Lime Rock Park. Getting set for 20 laps of racing here today. Let's take a look at the playoff standings. As always, presented by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. So the points leader is B Barrett. She leads by 13 points. She's 33 points above the cut line. Second is J TwoTwo, is 20 points above the cut line. 17 above is P Albanus in third. B Tennyson fourth. J Bouvier fifth. They are 14 and 11 points above the cut line, respectively. Cody Smart tied with Vanco Seaman at 6 points above the cut line. And then Hannah Smith rounds out your Elite 8 that are above the cut line. Annie Crenshaw is 3 points below the cut line. 5 points below the cut line is Ashley Reynolds. A Aurora is 7 points below the cut line. And Todd Montgomery, who is a whopping 14 points below the cut line. So those drivers are going to need good runs here today or find themselves heading into our elimination race next week at Kansas in a must-win situation. Going through the backside of the course. Can't believe this is our final road course race of the season. Of course, we're halfway through the playoffs, and this is going to set us up for what could be either a very kind of elimination race or a doozy of an elimination race when we head to Kansas next week. This final corner is going to be one of our trouble spots here today, because a lot of times when we come to Lime Rock, drivers venture out wide, go in the tire wall, and could be a end of the day for these drivers. So let's hope that doesn't happen here today. I believe nobody's had any issues so far. Checking the back of the field, looks like nobody had any issues, so that's good. Green flags in the air. We're racing at Lime Rock. I keep an eye on this first turn. We're going to see a lot of drivers run wide through that turn as Jessica Miller trying to go to the race lead. Still putting up a fight with Cody Smart. That was not a good camera angle. All these trees that we have in the way, and now Cody Smart going to take the lead as they go through the inner loop section. And then down the hill they come. Here are the rumble strips there. And Cody Smart will lead our first lap of today's race. Running the throwback car, the blue, white, and red car on his Altel Dodge. Checking back at the rear of the field here. Marty Stevens running the blue color Rubbermaid Sharpie Ford this week. You saw our points leader, B Barrett, back there at the rear of the field. Hannah Smith running well. Caution's out for the first time today. I just saw the red flag indicating the pit road is closed. So our first caution of the race is out on lap number 4. Oh, got a big wreck. J TwoTwo got collected. A Crenshaw, J Bouvier, a couple of playoff contenders involved. A Reynolds, another playoff contender involved. Oh boy. This is not what Reynolds needs. She was 5 points below the cut line. TwoTwo was 20 points above the cut line. He was second in points as we're backing into each other for some reason. Bouvier's got a lot of damage. She came in this race 11 points above the cut line. Crenshaw came in this race 3 points below the cut line. A lot of damage to Mia Watts' car. Caution's out for the first time today. Let's go back and see what happened to bring out this first yellow here at Lime Rock. Okay, we're going to use helicopter view for this replay. Watch Monica Townsend, the 19, as she runs a little bit wide there. She's going to nick the tire wall. And then Brenda Evelyn's going to have nowhere to go. And this is what's going to stack everything up is, can't see it well from the bridge there. Let's go to spectator. There's the 45 getting turned around. Reynolds got turned by her teammate Annie Winters. There's B Barrett, the points leader. I didn't realize she was involved in this incident. So Barrett's going to have some damage on her car. And then I believe Ponzo's going to spin Annie Crenshaw, another playoff contender. I don't think Crenshaw is going to be too pleased about that. Yeah, I want to know what that was all about. And then there's the 45 clipping the 42. Don't know what was the deal there. There's J TwoTwo got damaged. So we have a lot of our playoff contenders involved. Michael Anderson, also Bouvier got a piece of it. So yeah, so the caution's out for the first time today. Let's jump to the restart here at Lime Rock. Getting ready to go back to green on lap number 5 of 20. Would give us 16 laps of racing to go. Nobody out of the race from our incidents there. Cody Smart is the leader. Jessica Miller second, Tatum Wright third, Maddie Crenshaw fourth, Kevin Joseph fifth, who was recently eliminated, Timmy Turner sixth, Zachary Taylor seventh, Sean Art eighth, ninth is Vanko Seaman, and Melissa Cooper complete your top 10. They had to remove the hood on the 99 machine. As we're going to get ready to go back to green. These are quickie yellows. And yep, B Barrett does have damage, so we've probably taken a bit of a shock as far as the playoff grid. We could end up finding ourselves a very interesting elimination race next week at Kansas, which is, by the way, the Winston Cup Series' second elimination race. I know next week will be the first race of the second round for Trucks and Busch. As we're going to come back to green flag racing. B Barrett, by the way, was 33 points above the cut line, so we could find ourselves in a very interesting situation going into Kansas next week. Crenshaw didn't get a lot of damage. Annie Crenshaw, that is, didn't get a lot of damage on her Miller Lite Dodge. So it looks like she got away with one right there. Now we're in single file land. Everybody kicking up that little dust there. That's kind of common, as Cody Smart just ran that next to last corner a little bit wide as he got on the rumble strips. We'll give you a lap guide around this unique track. Let's use Timmy Turner as our lap guide. As you're going into turn number 1, this long right-hand sweeper. This is turn number 2 right here. As he goes into second gear. 3, and here we come through the back straightaway. This right-hander, as we're using the inner loop. And then this is the best part, coming down the hill, heading for the final corner. This is the fastest part of the track right here. As Sean Hart got a nice run on Turner. And that is a lap guide around Lime Rock Park for anybody that's brand new to this channel. Jessica Miller has taken the race lead. Lane Aurora's on pit road. That's a playoff contender. Stop and go penalty she just got. That was a driver who came in this race 7 points below the cut line. Monica Towns has a lot of damage to the left and right side and rear end of her Dodge. Bouvier has no hood on her 99 machine. Neil Watts has some rear end damage. Bouvier came into this race 11 points to the good as far as the cut line is concerned. Remember one time Sean Hart and Jesse spun. Oh, we got a crash. Matty Crenshaw and Zachary Taylor, that's teammates from Indiana Motorsports. It's like Jerry Harvick got off the course, and there's no doubt the yellow is out. Kevin Joseph ran a little bit wide. That was not what Jessica Miller wanted to see. Matty Crenshaw got wrecked. Marty Stevens. Looks like Michael Anderson. Melissa Cooper went off the course. Ben Erickson's got damage. Big break for the 31, but Jessica Miller will lead us to our second caution of the day. As the yellow is out, let's take a look and see what happened to Matty Crenshaw and Zachary Taylor as we're nearing the halfway point of this race. Well, you got to feel bad for Matty Crenshaw because she was getting ready to start her 8th lapper on this track, and kablamo, looks like a mechanical failure let go. She was trying to get out of the way and just didn't realize Zachary Taylor was there. Fortunately, it spun both her, near miss for playoff contender Vanko Seaman, and into the catch fence these two cars go. That's not a safer barrier. That is a steel fence, and it tore up a lot of good cars in the process. There's where Ben Erickson goes off, along with Melissa Cooper, into the chain link fence. As they were trying to avoid the incident, Cooper went right through the bushes behind the signs there, and that's a tough break for a couple of drivers. But Zachary Taylor, ever since he missed the playoffs, it's been a hit or miss kind of season. So, I bet you Matty Crenshaw is going to be explaining to Zachary Taylor that she didn't mean to wreck her team owner. Whoa, Andy Thomas got a little squirrely there. But anyway, that's a tough break for two Indiana Motorsports drivers, and I bet you the ride home for them is not going to be fun, as that was the yellow for the second time today. Let's go back to the restart here at Lime Rock. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing here, as we're going to have 10 laps of racing to go. Miller is the leader, Tatum Wright second. Third is Cody Smart. Fourth is Sean Hart with Kevin Joseph in fifth. Timmy Turner is sixth. Vanko Seaman seventh. Ashley Horton eighth. Samantha Grainger says she scored in 10th, but she'll restart in 9th. Hannah Smith will be your top 10. And a bad day for Indiana Motorsports got worse, as we're going to tell you in just a second. I've also been told that Brittany White fell a lap down, and Courtney Lynn, who was supposed to restart 9th, is now out of the race due to a mechanical problem. As we're going to confirm that, yep, she is out of the race. So that's a tough break for her. Matty Crenshaw will join her behind the wall Zachary Taylor and Brittany White are a lap down. Not entirely sure what happened to. Well, there's the one car. Looks like she's got some rear end damage on that Pennzoil machine. That's a tough break for Brittany as the green's back out. Neither Maddie Crenshaw nor Courtney Lynn are in the playoffs, so that's one less issue that we're not going to have to worry about. And just like that, 3 Indiana Motorsports drivers, Lynn, Taylor, and Crenshaw, had troubles. Courtney Lynn did get into the top 30 in the points after the regular season, but was not high enough to have it count for a playoff berth. He was raced 29th in the points. Brooklyn Carter came in, Maddie Crenshaw 33rd in the points, so 2 weeks in a row that the 21 team has really fallen off a cliff, so that's very disappointing for Maddie Crenshaw. It's not been a good day for the Crenshaw sisters. Maddie Crenshaw got taken out, and Crenshaw was involved in the first incident. As Brittany White's coming back out on the track, and she just killed the orange cones. Now she sent those orange cones back to Coney Island. She's got some right side damage on the Pennzoil Chevrolet. And she has gone 3 laps down as a process. Jessica Miller, looking for her first win on the year, has not been to victory lane. Cody is, by the way, the highest of our playoff driver, as Sean Art's poking the Altel Dodge. Sean is still looking for his first win on the season in that Sirius Satellite Radio Dodge out of Ultra Everham Motorsports. Sean is 24th in the points. Jessica Miller leads this race. Oops. Hit the wrong button. Take a look at the back of the field here. Marty Stevens back here. Monica Towns is going to come. Oh, we got a wreck. We had a wreck, and it didn't bring out a caution. And they're 3 wide between J Bouvier, and I think that was Aurora. And there goes the 99. Lost all of that ground, even though she has no hood on the Sicko Ford. Sean Art just got around Cody Smarts. We're coming to 4 laps of 5 to go, excuse me. Yeah, we had some skid marks on the front straightaway, but it didn't bring out a caution because somebody got sideways, and whoever caused those skid marks eventually saved their car and didn't warrant a caution. And of course, Josephine Bouvier didn't have a good result last week at Pocono. She had an okay race, wasn't her best, as Tatum Wright's going to take the lead from the 9 of Jessica Miller. "36 drivers on the lead lap, 38 are on track. And then the 2 Indiana Motorsports drivers back behind the wall being Maddie Crenshaw and Courtney Lynn. Courtney Lynn out due to a mechanical failure, and we're not entirely sure what blew on the 21 machine. That's a tough break for 2 ladies who has had a less than a stellar season, if you ask me. Vanco Seaman is now the highest of the playoff contenders. Came in 6 points above the cut line, along with Cody Smart. They're running 4th and 5th right now. Ben Tennyson, 14 points above the cut line in 10th, as we're going to find out where the rest of our playoff contenders are. Looks like the 77 of Todd Montgomery is running in 13th. Betty Barrett, 14th. And the caution is out, and this will no doubt end the race. We're just going through the top 30. Yellow is out. Who caused this one? Annie Winters, Margaret Jacobs, Annie Crenshaw, playoff contender. Hannah Smith, Ben Erickson, Melissa Cooper involved. And this will end the race as Crenshaw stuck in the wall. And what are you doing there, Jessica Miller? Caution's out. You shouldn't be driving in that hard in turn 1. The yellow's out, sweetheart. And Annie Crenshaw came in this race 3 points below the cut line. This could possibly put Annie Crenshaw in a must-win situation, more than likely heading into our elimination race. As the caution is out, as we're going to pause this game and go back and look at a replay to find out what caused this incident, to bring out our final caution of the day, then come back to see possibly if Tatum Wright will win here at Lime Rock. Well, it looks like Hannah Smith was the reason for this yellow. Drove the turn a little wide. Margaret Jacobs didn't realize she overdrove it, and watch this. Right in the tire wall. Oh my goodness. And Samantha Grainger nearly got impaled. Look at the 48 just flipping wildly. Todd Montgomery somehow got through that. But that's not all. Luigi Cadet rams into the Bud Chevrolet. Betty Barrett got a piece of it. That's a lot of damage. Hope Hannah Smith is okay. And Margaret Jacobs was trying to get going again. And there's where Zachary Taylor, there's where Annie Crenshaw got a piece of it. Annie Crenshaw was running in 25th at the time. There's Melissa Cooper. So it didn't end there with the 8. Margaret Jacobs taking a nasty beating. There's where the 38 gets involved. Watch the 41. Wow, the 8 is still flipping. Hasn't even come to a stop. And finally it has. Good night. A lot of cars involved in this one, and a lot of big hits. Hopefully Margaret Jacobs and Hannah Smith are okay. That's a lot of big hits there. And Brittany White came to a stop, so a lot of drivers involved in this one, and unfortunately we're going to have some drivers that may not finish the race, as the yellow is out for the final time today. And this gal, Tatum Wright, is more than likely going to win. We're going to take you to the checker flag here at Lime Rock. White flag was already displayed over the hood of the Net 0 Pontiac for Haas CNC Racing. And barring any issues, looks like Tatum Wright is going to collect her first win on the season. A driver who did not make the playoffs. He missed race 20th in the points. She was fourth highest of the drivers who missed the playoffs. And she will be happy with a very good result here today. Tatum Wright is the leader right now. Jessica Miller second, Sean Hart third, Vanco Seaman the fourth, Cody Smart fifth, Kevin Joseph sixth, seventh Timmy Turner, eighth Brad Lewis, ninth Ashley Horton, and 10th is Ben Tennyson. But off of turn number 7, at a blistering pace of 35 miles an hour, Tatum Wright is going to win here at Lime Rock Park, as E Aurora had troubles on the last lap of the race, but Tatum Wright is going to win here today at Lime Rock Park. Going to wait for the field to cross the line. We've basically given you the top 10 so far. Standings will be official once everybody crosses the line. So we had a total of 1, 2, 3 playoff contenders inside the top 10. Vanco Seaman and Cody Smart, who had poor results last week at Pocono, could find themselves in a interesting situation, because we're going to be heading into Kansas next week for our second elimination race, as standings are now indeed official. And this is race 31. So we had 3. Let's see where the rest of our playoff drivers finish. Todd Montgomery 13th, Betty Barrett 14th. Could have been worse for Barrett and Todd Montgomery. Todd was 12th of the 12 drivers in the playoff. As far as below the cut line, this will be an interesting situation where he's going to be at, so we could have ourselves a very interesting elimination race next week. Ponzo Albanus 21st, J TwoTwo 23rd, Ashley Reynolds 26th, Bouvier 27th, as you look on down through the rest of the finishing results. And the rest of our playoff drivers out of the race after a 3-caution day. A Aurora 30th, Hannah Smith 31st, A Crenshaw 33rd. And I believe that is it. Other drivers out from that incident were Luigi Cadet, Ben Erickson, Melissa Cooper, Annie Winters, Margaret Jacobs, Courtney Lynn, and Maddie Crenshaw, who have gone behind the wall. So not been a good day for the Crenshaw sisters, I can tell you that for sure. As we end up having 27 drivers finish on the lead lap, 30 ended up finishing the race, and a total of 10 drivers that did not reach the conclusion of today's race. But that is going to do it from Lime Rock Park. Next week, it's Kansas. We're going to have our first race of the second round for Trucks and Busch and our second elimination race for the Cup Series drivers. It's going to be an interesting one heading into next week. Please give this video a like if you guys enjoyed today's race. Subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your playoff points and point standings are down in the description heading into next week at Kansas Speedway. Until then, I've been D DeVoe signing off. Goodbye from Lime Rock, as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and the best in racing around the world since 2017.